What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Grab your snacks, get comfortable. This is going to be a doozy right here. We're changing it up a little bit. We're going with a little courtroom action. Today's video is titled "Strict Judge Makes Felon Cry with Prison Sentence." Yikes, that sounds pretty tough. I know what it's like to deal with sentencing, and let's say it's something I don't ever want to deal with. Judges terrify me. So let's get straight into it. I'm really excited about this video. Let's go.
No, OB-15 was scored at 5 points. And you were arguing that it should be scored at 0.
Correct, Your Honor. That is trafficking and forgive me, brain was stuck on the last case. On this particular case,
So this is the defendant's lawyer speaking.
Mr. Martin was the passenger in the vehicle. The driver of the vehicle was the one throwing out items, allegedly drugs out there. He was also the one in control of the vehicle. The only way Mr. Martin could have not been involved was to jump out and risk his own life, which is not ever wise either. They were in a chase, it sounds like, and the other driver of this car prevented Mr. Martin from doing anything safely. So the score here for OV-19 for the threat to administration of justice is inappropriate because he was unfortunately an unwilling participant at that point because he's no longer the driver.
Unwilling. I apologize about that. This lawyer is very tough to understand, but I'm grasping the point.
The vehicle, and the vehicle is moving at such a speed he cannot get away. Also, with the amount of drugs to indicate trafficking, that would also more go towards the driver of the vehicle as well, because it was the driver throwing everything out the window and commanding.
Man, I highly doubt it was just a driver. Like, you're not in a car with this much drugs and you don't know it. I don't care who you are. And if your passenger is, your driver is throwing the drugs out the car, you might be wanting to hop out too, because they're going to try to pin it on you.
Everything at that point. So I would ask for 15 and 19 before that 0. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Goodrich, people's position?
Yes, Your Honor. One of the things not required is that he actually be charged with the fleeing or living. I think he was part of the that post-offense conduct by being part of the vehicle and the drug activity, and I think it was part of this one.
All right. As to OB-15, it was scored at 5 points for the defense involved the delivery or possession with intent to deliver controlled substance, or possession of controlled substance having a value or under circumstances as to indicate trafficking. Trafficking is defined as the sale or delivery of controlled substances on a continuing basis to one or more other individuals for further distribution.
Just speaking now gives me chills. I'm not even in the hot seat and I got chills. This dude's getting hit with some fat charges. He's looking at some serious time. Got me shaking.
So the Michigan Supreme Court has interpreted OB-15 to say that we do get to score it anytime there's a delivery or possession with intent to deliver charge, but for a possession, there must be evidence of trafficking, which under that definition requires sort of a two-step distribution. Trafficking is distributing, selling or delivering controlled substance on a continuing basis to somebody for the purpose of further distribution to yet another person. And because the sentencing offense is a possession, therefore that statutory definition of trafficking would have to be satisfied. I don't see any evidence of that. So OB-15, I would sustain the challenge and score OB-15 at 0 points. As to OB-19, during the chase of the vehicle, the pre-sentence report indicated that there were items being thrown out of the passenger side of the vehicle. I find that to be a sufficient preponderance of the evidence that Mr. Martin was indeed participating in the behavior of trying to destroy evidence.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. You're not just over here watching your buddy throw stuff out the window. You just hands tied, not doing nothing. Like, you over here tossing stuff too.
So
Y'all's partners in crime. Batman and Robin, man.
Justice. So the total OV is 10 points. I believe that still retains it at OV level 2. Guidelines remain at 19 to 47 months. All right, Ms. France, anything you want to say on behalf of your client in both matters?
Thank you, Your Honor. As for my allocution for both cases, my recommendation is still going to be the same in both cases, Your Honor. I did explain hoping this has made a click for Mikey, having the baby inheriting his heart issues. I'm hoping he's had a long history of substance abuse. PSI history shows it. This
No
is a
excuse.
kid that he struggled. There's just no better way. And he's got one or two choices to make right here and now, and that is put our big boy pants on, take care of our child, or do life on the installment plan in prison. Unfortunately, most courts would probably just say, well, too bad, so sad.
I don't like this lawyer. Like, why you got your hands in your pocket? Like, you're defending my life here and you're doing it with your hands in your pocket? Why you look nervous? You gotta be out there confident you're defending my life. Give me a new lawyer immediately. She is not worthy.
Life on the installment plan for you. But he's never had the opportunity of being in that father role and having that awestruck moment.
Shut up about that before you start committing drug offenses and throwing it out the window. That's crazy. Throwing out the window is crazy.
Where your life completely changes forever. That happened to him while he was in the jail and heard the baby's heartbeat. And then find out the baby has inherited his genetic heart failure. I can't imagine how that felt to him. And then to be locked in that jail, not able to even hug his partner or console her. That, I think, has been the clicking moment. They always say someone needs to hit their rock bottom. I believe this is where Michael is at. The sentencing
That touched the heart a little bit, but still. I don't know.
guidelines are not binding. We've all learned that lesson from Lockridge. I would ask the court to consider 3 years probation, order him to serve a period of 9 months, and order 2 years over his head. He screws up one time. He's going to the Michigan Department of Corrections. Some people would say we're giving him the rope. Let's hope he doesn't hang himself with it. But this time he comes before the court with a very different reason to get his act together. It's always easy in your 20s and you say you're going to change, you're going to change, you're going to change. We all did it. But when you now become a parent, that changes your whole world. And I think at this time, we have met that.
How many opportunities has he had, though? That's very important, you know.
We are dealing with, unfortunately,
2 chances on my book.
in the first case, but Adderall in the second case. And I don't mean to make it sound like Adderall isn't important. It is important. It is a controlled substance. But if I have to pick the two, I'd rather someone was selling an Adderall pill versus a methamphetamine pill. And not to make light of Adderall at all. I mean, you used to be able to buy it over the counter to get through exams. Now it's a controlled substance. I would ask the court to take all of that into consideration in both memorandums and grant our request for a unique sentence.
It's taken into consideration, all right, for sure, for sure. We consider it's duly noted.
Mr. Martin, it's not required.
Thank you for noting it for us.
It is allowed. Is there anything you want to tell me or no?
Yes, sir.
Well, I've been waiting for this.
Like I said in that letter, I stand before you today, a young man ready to accept the consequences for his actions, and I accept full responsibility for what I've done. I'm really ready to just move forward past all this and start this next chapter of my life and be a better partner to my significant other and a positive father figure for my child once he comes. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rich, people's recommendation.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I respect it, especially for just dealing some drugs. I mean, what type of drugs were they? It's very important as well.
He's here to be sentenced on the possession and delivery of pleas. He has made choices after being offered previous services of probation and incarceration, and here we are today, the second one being committed while he's on bond for the first. I know that sometimes people think, oh, well, having a child changes things, but there's probate courtrooms full cases where people still continue to make bad choices despite having children. Oftentimes you have to make that decision first for yourself, if you can help others or be anything for others. And I think that by Mr. Martin's actions and choices, that the court should follow the recommendation, and I believe that it should be ordered consecutively. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. If you please stand for the fourth sentence. Mr. Martin.
Oh, this is giving me chills. Sentence time, sentence
The
time.
lawyer's done a great job for you throughout this case, and you
I bet they're different on that.
Not all that easy. While you've got a pending case for possession with intent to deliver methamphetamine.
Oh, it's meth. Oh no. Yeah, but this guy, he slammed. He's done so.
You're still out there while you're on bond for a serious felony, and you're out there selling drugs and saying it's a controlled buy-in to you while you're on bond in a drug case. That's just a spectacularly terrible decision.
Getting ADAS
It is.
is actually diabolical.
Oh, he was on bond doing this? Oh my goodness. Even if it wasn't his drugs, he should not be around anything like anything of the sort. He should have been around whoever he was with. He should have been around the drugs, and he should have been running from the cops. This dude, he put himself back in jail, and they're gonna hit him with the bug. Oh God! If you fuck up while you're on bond, oh man, that's the worst thing you can do. Because now it's literally the worst thing you can do. I do not recommend crime. I do not recommend crime on bond or probation, especially. They're going to give you whatever time they said they was going to give you, and plus some for the new charges. It is not okay. It is a trap. Probation and bond is a trap. If you ever get on those, sit at home. Don't leave the house.
When I kind of back up and look at this case, you were your last sentence was 3 years in prison.
You're ready to do the three-piece. Didn't learn your lesson.
Sentence where you went to prison.
That's a lot of time too. That's not no change.
Parole. You're involved with Mr. Sayers with enough methamphetamine that it was intent to deliver for sure. And and then the degree to which you're participating in the chase may be unclear, but you're definitely not a kidnapping victim here.
Still were participating. Yeah, exactly. He wasn't kidnapped. He wasn't in that car handcuffed, like I said.
Running wild out there while you're on parole.
Wow, yeah.
And then while you're on bond.
That is very unwise.
You end up, I don't know, there was a parole detainer, and then I think when they discharged it, so then they finally discharged you from parole, which Lord knows why the Department of Corrections would discharge you from parole.
It was a trap. It was to set him up. They're like, I want this guy for life. Prison is a trap. The system is a trap. Do everything you can to not let yourself get into that system. It is a slippery slope of hell.
Maybe return you to prison, but I think they like to say that their recidivism numbers are so low, they didn't return you to prison. You had a successful parole. Well, you had anything but a successful parole because you're out there involved in methamphetamine while you're on parole. So the parole detainer goes away, and you go out in the community, and you just continue to run wild. And you're selling drugs, and you're selling it to a CI.
He sold it to a CI. That's crazy. You see, they had him on watch. They said, hey, release him, see what he do. Yeah, that shit was completely a setup. He bought he sold to a CI. That's completely a setup. Like, they released him, let him be for like a week or two, and then they found him on some, and it was like, yo, let me get some. He's like, of course I got it. That's nasty work right there. The U.S. government is nasty.
And then you're involved with methamphetamine drug activity that did involve distribution of drugs, not enough to show the 2 levels for the possession. But that's a relevant factor. And you didn't do well on bond. I dismissed a couple of show causes today, but you had some positive tests for methamphetamine and for alcohol. And then you're out there committing more crimes, deliveries while you're on bond.
Yeah, facts.
it's unlikely that the sentence goes less than what you had last time, right? When you get 3 years and then you behave in the way you did, usually we're gonna ratchet this up a bit. So
Yeah,
this is,
indeed.
I mean, there's obviously good reasons to even go above those advisory guidelines. I think that for sure, I'm very sure that upper end of that advisory guideline range is a definitely proportionate sentence given these circumstances. So in file 6767, I am going to commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections for not less than 47 months, nor more than 15 years, exercising my discretion under the habitual offender statute to increase the statutory maximum. I'm going to give you credit for 71 days previously served after the parole detainer evaporated when they discharged you. There's also state costs.
You got 4 to 12 years.
And $130 in the crime victims assessment and $200 restitution. In file 6880, this is the delivery while you were on bond for the methamphetamine case. There's restitution of $70, state cost of $68, crime victims assessment of $130. And I will commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections. Again, I think a term on the upper end of the advisory guidelines is certainly proportional for the fact that you're out there selling drugs while you're on bond for a drug case. So I'll commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections for not less than 23 months, nor more than 7 years. It is discretionary consecutive, and Michigan does prefer concurrent sentencing, has a strong preference for that. But while somebody's on parole, involved in drugs, and then while they're on bond for that, they're selling drugs, I'm not sure there's a whole lot more cases that call out for consecutive sentencing more than that. Just
For the first case, he got 4 to 12, and then the second case, he got 4 to 7. Man, this dude's about to do. Yeah, he's at least doing 10. He's at least doing 10. And depending on behavior, you might get out and yeah, I say at least 10 to 15. Just do got slam, bro. That's
continuing to do that while you're involved in the system. So I'm going to exercise my discretion and run those.
yeah, I'm gonna warn y'all again. Do not play with the government. They are not your friend. If they release you on bond, sit at home and do nothing.
Consecutive, so you get 0 days credit on the second case. Mr. Martin, you can appeal your conviction or my sentences or both by filing.
Yeah, 6 years minimum, 23 years max. That's crazy. I'm guessing like 10 to 15 on good behavior and stuff like that. Depends. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Good luck to you, Mr. Martin.
Damn. So that's a crazy video. I don't even know what I would do if I caught a sentence like that. That's absolutely wild. What did y'all think of the video though? What would you do if you were just sentenced to about 10 to 20 years? How would you what's the first thing you're doing? First thing I'm doing, taking a nap. Well, I appreciate y'all for checking out the video. Please check out my channel. I have plenty of other videos to check out. And yeah, I'll be back soon to put y'all on some more game. Be safe, people.